everyone, and welcome to AEW Discussion. I'm your host of AEW Enthusiast, Doug. In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing Dynamite, April 26, 2023 episode. In this episode of Dynamite, saw the battle between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite continue. Also, the finale of the number one contenders tournament to crown the next challenger for the AEW World Title. And with that, we'll go ahead and get right into the action. Starting with an international championship match, Orange Cassidy versus Bandito. And this match continued Cassidy's strong run as the international champion, which has seen him net more successful title defenses in his AEW career than anyone sans Jade Cargill. So for a guy that can be considered a comedy act, he has been a workhorse for AEW in 2023, defending his title weekly against different wrestlers with different styles and backgrounds like he did here against Bandito. And the result of this match, aside from Cassidy retaining his title, was that this was a banger of a match like his previous title defenses. Cassidy continues to put in the work and deliver quality performance to justify his place as champion, and this was certainly another showcase that justified his place as champion. Now, the question is there an endgame in place for Orange Cassidy's title reign? Has Tony Khan thought about the end of his title reign? Every championship reign does come to an end, and I think there certainly is a question. The fans are still 100% behind Orange Cassidy, but will there come a time when they do tire of him? Will there come a time when the fans grow tired of Orange Cassidy, and which certainly is likely. Fans can turn. In AEW they were all about Cody Rhodes, and then they certainly turned on him. So Cassidy, I think there might come a time when the fans do turn on him, and if that is the case, then I think certainly Tony Khan should have a plan in place for the sake of Cassidy and the connection he has with his fans to have an end game in mind. And then you have Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara, and for a moment Wednesday night it appeared as though MJF was set to defend the AEW World Championship against Sammy Guevara at Double or Nothing. Then, after interacting with Tony Khan over his headset, Tony Schiavone revealed that a tag team match next week pitting Guevara and MJF against Hell and Jungle Boy would determine whether the title match at Double or Nothing would remain as a singles match or become a fatal four-way match. So the match next week will likely result in the Allin and Perry winning, and then setting up the expected fatal four-way match that was expected from the moment that these four stepped into the ring after Revolution. With that said, though, one has to wonder, or it is fair to wonder, if this was really the best story that AEW could have came up with. Everything for the last 2 weeks has seemed unnecessary, a stopgap to make up for the fact that there was no better creative available for what could be a definitive match in AEW's history. And in that regard, it is disappointing. If there's any collection of talent that can overcome mediocre booking, it's these four that certainly are poised to do battle at Double or Nothing. Now that is a Perry and Allin score to win on next week's show, and certainly I think it's entirely possible that that Allin and Perry win next week, and Guevara screwed over MJF as well. And then you have Adam Cole calling out Chris Jericho, and a debut of Roderick Strong. So Adam Cole, after the events of last week, would call out Chris Jericho, but Jericho would instead send the Jericho Appreciation Study instead of himself down to the ring. And then Orange Cassidy and Bandito for some reason decided to make the save for Cole, but felt in numbers disadvantage. Cue Roderick Strong making his AEW debut, coming to the AEW's former Undisputed Era teammate and clearing the ring. Now Strong, in case you didn't know, he's a great professional wrestler with a loaded resume. The history between him and Cole likely made him an appealing get for Tony Khan. With that said, outside of the immediate impact of his arrival, it is fair to wonder if there is a long-term plan for him. He certainly will always have a place in Ring of Honor given his history with that brand, and given that his wife is already in AEW, it makes sense that he would join AEW. Now might the roster in AEW be too bloated for him to achieve much more than he would have, or than he did during his time in NXT? Maybe. Time will tell, but it's still nice to see Strong back on national television and in a meaningful position for the time being. And you have Kenny Omega and Kanelsuke Takeshita versus the Butcher and the Blade, and AEW continues to inch closer to a showdown between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club, but after the events of tonight's show, it appears that there will be questions there regarding Takeshita. Did any of what Danielson said to him sink in? Didn't even register? Might the damage done to him via a screwdriver serve as a wake-up call to Takeshita? And perhaps it does, and maybe he decides to stay true to the Elite and stand by them in battle with the BCC at Double or Nothing. Now, where that leaves Hangman Page, who knows? But whatever the case is, this did a solid job of introducing the young star into the storyline and also raising some questions about where his allegiances lie. Now, it's more likely than not that his allegiances remain with the Elite, which again would place Hangman Page in question mark 2, because there's no way you can have the match with BCC versus the Elite and not have Hangman Page involved. So, I'm curious to how they do that one. And then you also had in Don Callis and him wanting to get Omega and company to accept the Takeshita, and you have a more layered storyline that initially appeared as though we may be getting on this program. So, story continues to unfold. Certainly an interesting story. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of AEW Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like button down below.